What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a blessed, productive day. With that being said, thank you, everybody, for tuning in, watching this channel. Without any further doings, let's get right to it. All right, so in 2010, 12, 13, 14, there was a lot of riots happening in the prison systems, whether it be a level 2, level 3, and level 4s. Now, mind you, this is during the time frame where all the shot callers, all the generals for every group segment, as far as the Black Guerrilla family, the Aryan Brotherhood, the Norteño, the Sureños, they were all slammed down in the hole. Our key figures would be Norteño soldados, which they would run the yard and they'll tell us what to do, right? And I'm assuming it'll be the same thing for other group segments because they didn't have the real actual shot callers. And so the yards will pop off for any little reasons. I myself was involved in several of these riots while I was incarcerated in the prison system. One particular riot that took place was in CSAT F level 2B yard. And the reason as to why the yard blew off was due to the fact that in the level 4, which is CORCORAN, the Norteños and the Sureños went at it, and unfortunately 2 Sureños lost their life. Now, it was a domino effect that it had due to the fact that the Sureños wanted a runbacks and wanted bloodshed to avenge the Sureños' lives that were taken. While we were in the level 2, fortunately, one of the homies, which was our rep, and he was running the yard in Corcoran level 2, was acquainted with the shot caller for the Sureños that was running their yard. They would communicate with one another and had a mutual understanding as to keeping the yard at a peaceful stance because they didn't want it to keep popping off. They didn't want to keep going on lockdowns. And when we go on lockdown, everything gets shut down. There's no flow coming in. There's no revenue coming in. There's no drugs coming in. People are starting acting out. There's no drugs. People are kicking. They're losing a lot of manpower. A lot of bad things are happening when all these yards are on lockdown. And so they didn't want that. It's bad business for everybody. Once you're on lockdown, you lose visitation, you lose time of going out, you get segregated for a few weeks, and it's just bad in general, right? And so anytime any issues arise, our shot callers, which for the Norteño would go and talk to the shot caller for the Sureño, they would negotiate some type of treaty at the time, and it continued being like that. But of course, certain things that come from the higher ups, it just can't be prevented. Luckily, this Sureño had a phone, and that Sureño would let our shot caller for the Norteños, which was running the prison, to use the cell phone to do whatever business he needed to do. And this particular time, somehow, someway, we had gone on lockdown early. They closed down the gates. We weren't able to go to the other side because in Corcoran, it's like gates, right? So they got A side, B side, C side. That's in one building, and it's like cubes. And so there's gates in between to separate the A side, the B side, and the C side. And there's other 3 buildings in the same yard, but it's building 1, building 2, building 3. And in that building, it has 3 sides, which I explained to you, A and B and C. The Sureño shot caller was on C side, and the Norteño shot caller, which was our representative, he was on A side. So they locked down the gates. We didn't have time to send the phone back. And so the homie stayed on it for an extra hour. And during that hour, the Sureño was supposed to have that phone. A message came in. And the message that came in was directed to, obviously, that shot caller Sureño. But the homie somehow happened to see it. And when he seen the text coming in, it said, engage on Norteños or busters, whatever the message was at that time, right? Telling us like to engage on us and for every single building, to get off on us while we go to chow. That happened in the afternoon. That riot was supposed to kick off on the next day while we go to chow due to the fact that so they could have enough time to coordinate a plan of attack. They could do more damage on us and catch us with our guard down. And so luckily, the homie was able to see that message. He instantly got on and started sending out one-times to every single building. Immediately, like, go out, send this when we got our program back and running. And so he started telling everybody, like, hey, look, check this out. Keep it at a full 60, meaning that, be on a high alert. POD, plan of defense. Do not engage unless you're getting engaged upon. And so just be aware of everything that's happening. Keep your eye out on all Sureños. Keep eye on their movement. Watch what they're doing. See how their demeanor is. And so on and so forth, right? And this is some of the things that we get taught. As from county jail to whatever prison you go to, you're being trained. They're telling you, this is what you got to look for. This is the things that you got to expect. These are the things that you have to do while you're there. And so on and so forth. While we're in the training grounds, while we're getting trained, you have to take all that into consideration and put it into high gear so it could be effective while you're in the prison system. All these kites were sent out telling them, be on a full 60, be full alert. There was this message. It came from other prisons that, to kick it off and to get off on us. And so, we're not going to take that lightly. We're not going to engage on them. But at the same time, we're not going to be with our guard down. So, make sure that you guys are on it. Luckily, that message that came through, it saved us, right? In a way, because if we didn't get that message, everybody was going to be with their guard down. We weren't going to be on a full 60 and we would have got our shit rocked. We get told, like, look, we're on a full 60. Don't do this, don't do that. Have a buddy system. Do not go to the bathroom by yourself. You always be with somebody. And the buddy system was in full effect, telling us, like, if you have a pedazo, go ahead and drop it. If not, while we're a yard, this is the areas that we have them at. Go ahead and dig one out and carry it for your protection. Instantly, a lot of individuals, they're like, okay, well, we got pedazos, we got our bangers, take them out, leave them out. And we were on it already, right? We were on it. We were just waiting for them to strike. Well, something's about to happen. There's a lot of tension. I don't know if some individuals ever felt that, but when you're in some type of facility and something's about to happen, it gets really quiet. Everybody stops doing what they're doing. They're just waiting for that moment. I experienced, I had butterflies. Like, I was anxious. I'm like, God damn, like, I hated the waiting game. We waiting. We just watching, right? And I have my buddy with me, right? We did a POD. So our POD was our plan of defense. It's a upstairs and downstairs. It's cubes, like I explained to you guys. And so the stairs, majority of the Surenos were downstairs. There was a few of them, about like 6-7 of them upstairs, and about like 10-12 Norteños, and the rest on the bottom, few Norteños and majority of the Sureños. There was other group segments as well, but they don't get involved in certain things like that. Our main focus into the area that I was assigned the stairs. My purpose and my sole duty was to defend those stairs, right? As far as, like, do not let anybody come up, do not let anybody go down. You stand that ground, do not leave that ground, whether you're getting stomped out, you're getting shanked, you get whatever that case might be, right? You do not leave that area. Make sure that nobody comes up, make sure that nobody leaves. And so we had 2 homies in the front, 2 in the back to back, right? And so it was like a 4-way, two in the front, which this is 2 faces, and then the 2 in the back, which was carrying the other side. And we watching each other's back. And so we're defending that stairs because all the Sureños were downstairs down there. And so if they come up, when they're coming up and all of them make it up there, it's going to be a wrap. They're going to demolish us and they're going to hurt us real bad. And so we're like, nah, we're not letting anybody come up. We're not letting anybody go down. And during this time, obviously, you get the knuckleheads that they tell you directives and they tell you, don't do this, don't do that. There's a lot of fake full 60s, right? That where they tell us, oh, it might kick off, because some of the homies are paranoid or they see the Sureños acting strange and they're like, oh, something's going to happen. Be on a full 60, be on a full guard, drop your piece, and so on and so forth, right? And so there will be a lot of false calls. And so certain individuals didn't take full heat into it. And unfortunately, they had to pay the price. And one of the homies, like while it kicked off, it was going on, the riot was happening. He happened to go to the bathroom right before chow time. Right before chow time, they let us know through the overcom, like, hey, you have about 10 minutes to go to dinner and get ready. Dinner time. While that was happening, this individual, he happened to go to the bathroom. When he went to the bathroom, he went by himself. Unfortunately for him, they released building 1. The Sureños' kind of attack was that as soon as the first building gets released to chow and the last individual comes in, which had to be a Sureño, he was going to sit down. As soon as he was the last one to sit down, everybody else had to get up and start getting off and start taking off on the homies, right? And so it did happen like that. Boom. The last person that walked into the chow hall, he didn't even sit down. He had his straight and he smacked one of the homies with it. Boom. And that's how it kicked off. So the whole fucking chow hall popped off, right? Boom. Everybody in the chow hall. Boom, boom, boom. So as soon as the alarm goes off, every other building has to follow. The second building was already lining up outside to go to the chow hall. So as soon as they hear their alarm, they start getting off on the homies. Boom, 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 boom. So you just hear the alarm. Bing, bing, bing. Get down, get down. Screaming over the overcom like, get down, everybody get down. So as soon as they hear that alarm, it starts, you just hear just boom, 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 right? You start hearing it. Boom, 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 boom. So the Sureños that were up there, and then we see some Sureños trying to come up here already too through the stairs, right? So we're defending the stairs. We have socks with the Irish Spring bar soaps, right? And they're like bricks. And so we put 2 of them, wrap it up, and then we have a long sock, and then we have our pedazos too, right? But the 2 people in the front, they're swinging it. Boom. So if you get hit with this, like you're hitting hit with the rock, bro. So he's over there swinging it like boom, boom, boom. And so they're hesitant. The Sureños are hesitant to come up, right? Because they're getting hit. And so they're pushing, go, 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 you know, and while the other ones are taking care of the homies down there, right? And now the other A, B, and C side, they're going off. All buildings is going off, yo. Like the whole yard popped off, right? Boom, boom, boom. They couldn't stop. The seals didn't know where to go. They'll run to one side and they start kicking off on the other side. Then over here it starts kicking off. So they were running around like chickens with their hair cut off, right? And so they're running everywhere, yo. Boom, 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 boom. It's taking place, right? And we're great enough. Boom, 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 boom. Swinging the socks, boom. You know, unfortunately, you know, some of the swingers started getting up, right? So they started getting hit. Bam, bam, bam. Boom, boom, you know, they're hitting too because they're coming with socks too. You know, they got a sock too. You know, they're over here trying to swing at us like boom, boom. We have our advantage because we're upstairs by the stairs. They're in the bottom. They're trying to come up. And while they're trying to come up, we're hitting them. Boom, boom, boom. They're getting smacked. Boom. So they don't even want to come up, right? So they're turning back and then they send other wave of sureños. Then they turn back. They send another wave of sureños. And so we're holding it down, right? And the other homies that are upstairs, they're going at it with the sureños. But unfortunately, right before that, the homie that went to the bathroom, 3 sureños ran up in there. They started beating on them. Pa, 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 pa. Rocked them. Rocked them. They grabbed them. They threw him over the stairs. Boom. They threw him off. He went down. Boom. Landed, right? It was it for him. He laid down. They started getting on him. That was it for him. He didn't listen. He didn't want to have his buddy system. He had to pay the price. He got beat up. He got bad. He got demolished bad, right? He got hurt really bad because he got flown out. And so we over there just boom, boom, boom. It was a short riot, but it seemed like it was a long time, right? Because when you're in those certain situations, your adrenaline is pumping. You're trying to defend yourself because you know that if some of these individuals make it up here, they're gonna hurt you real bad. So it's like an animal when he's trapped in the corner. He's gonna defend his life. He's gonna do any necessary means that it takes in order to defend his life and keep himself intact, right? And so we're over here doing whatever we can, right? We're over here swinging, boom, boom, you know, doing that, da, 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 da. At the end of the day, right, that riot happened. A lot of individuals got stabbed up. There was a few homies that got stabbed up, right? Don't quote me on the certain amount of homies that got stabbed up, right? But I got hit, you know what I'm saying? Like, my back was kind of like, I don't know if it was a scratch or was a hit. I don't know what it was, right? But everybody had some type of hit, bruise, scratch, or, you know, stab wound. But those individuals that got stabbed, you know, they got taken out to the infirmary because they come and check you, right? They lay you down. They put you on zip ties. They come and check you up, like, all right, you hurt. They just see that you have a bruise or whatnot. If it's not that bad, but all right, they leave you. They move on to the next people. They bring all the nurses in. They start checking you in, you know, make sure that nobody dies because those are serious, right? Like, there's people, you know, going at it with weaponry. People are getting stabbed. People are getting thrown off the stairs, you know, and so, like, a lot of people got stabbed up and some people got jumped, you know, like some people that didn't listen. And at the end of the day, certain individuals got hurt real bad, and all because we're fighting another man's war that has no significance. A lot of people's life get put at danger. A lot of people's life get put at stake due to the fact that we fighting a war that's already been lost, right? Because in my opinion, now that I reflect on it and think of it, like, all that has no significance, right? It really does have no significance. Like, okay, it all started off as to why the norteños were getting oppressed by the M or so on and so forth, how they stated what they said, that they broke off due to the fact that they're being oppressed, they're being taken advantage, and they're oppressing the people. And so they break off. While that happens, they're number one enemies. They keep going at it, fighting this war. And the norteños doing the same thing that they broke off from the M, you know, oppressing their own people, taking advantage of their own people, taxing their own people. And we're still fighting this war. We're fighting all this for no reason. I'm in it in our respectful way. We do a lot of things that we blinded to it, right? And not only that, other people are losing their lives for killing other innocent people, all because we're repping a color. It's just to show as to what do you have to go through in order when you're in prison, you know, and when you're in a gang. Like, it's not just about, you know, hanging out with the homies, kicking them with the hediondas or having a good time, you know, because when you're getting incarcerated or when it gets that time that you have to, you know, go take another man's life or, you know, go ride for the homies, you know, and shed blood that you're required to shed at some certain point in time, because it's not all funny games. And, you know, really think about everything that's going to take place, you know, really look into what you're signing up for, because I was young enough, I was foolish enough that I didn't have the right guidance and I didn't have the proper people to lead me the right way. And so I got misled by a lot of individuals that were already in the gang. They did things and they had some certain standards for me that I had to follow in order to hang around with them or in order to be from the hood. And this is what's happening with all these young-minded people, that they get brainwashed and they get influenced by certain older people. And I just want to say that really look into what you're signing up for, right? But to each his own. If you want that lifestyle, by all means, go ahead. All power to you. I wish you the best, but there's other options out there, man. I already been through those obstacles. I faced certain things. I witnessed a lot of things and I seen a lot of things. And I myself encountered some of these things. And so it ain't the life. That's not the route to go, right? That's not a man. It doesn't make you a man by being in a gang. And so with that being said, folks, thank you. I appreciate every single one of you for tuning in. Keep coming back, man. I appreciate you guys. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here today. So thank you guys. Have a good one.